There is a two master trainer in this world at the moment. The fire walking master trainer in the world, and one of the master trainer is him, and he's based in the UK. He has trained over 30 countries all over the world, 30 countries, and most of them are best speakers in Singapore, best speakers of Slovakia, best speaker of Ireland, so many places. The best speakers has come to his training in Peterborough and trained with him. And one of the best trainer who I follow as well, and I think Bayo also follow, yeah. His name is Eric Ho. Has anybody have been to Eric Ho's training or listen to Eric Ho? Yeah, Eric Ho is trained by Steve as well. So before I bring Steve, I would like to show a little clip about Eric Ho, how he felt about this training, which I did, which is unfortunate enough to do his training as well. So before that, I would like to show a clip about Eric Ho, how he say this. Is it right? No? Yeah.
It was an amazing experience for me. I came here to learn to fire away. Didn't expect to learn so much more, and over the past 4 days, the experience has just been. Words can't express how I'm feeling right now, because every day I've been learning more and more and more, and it's just been incredible. This course is more than just firewalk. Given in different things in different seminars, but this one, because I didn't expect to go through all the exercise and all the programs and to be able to get so much from this, because I expected the firewalking course to learn firewalk, but then it was just my personal growth. I felt I've been growing every single day since I got here, and it's just been amazing, really. Because I came here with my business partner, we made this investment, and at first I was thinking, is it going to be worth it? But I came here and I said to him on day one, I said, we've already got our money back. Because what I found in day one was already enough. What I took away from that was already enough. And to think that there was 3 days more and every day getting more and more exciting was just amazing. Okay, anybody who's not achieving some goal that they want to achieve, I think it's perfect for them.
So this is the testimony from Eric Ho about the next speaker. So has anyone have known these individuals here? Yeah, you know Andy Harrington. Anybody know T. Harv Baker? Yeah? T. Harv Baker? Yeah? Tony Robbins? Yeah? So these all wonderful individuals have trained this training. Before they become popular, they have all gone through this training. So this is one of the life-changing training which I did as well. So here is the guy who is working on the fire and who make all of us to do these all things. So if you have ever decided to be the better version of yourself, consider yourself as well like that, because as I mentioned before, I've gone through so many trainings, and with these 4 days is the most amazing, most transformation training I had. So ladies and gentlemen, now I'd like to invite my trainer and my very good friend, and he's none other than Steve Consalvez.
Wow. That's pretty good, in fact. I'm going. So, okay, you can set this up. Before we get going, what Krish is talking about, in fact what we're all talking about, is what we do on day one. What Eric got from the training he got on day one. Because what we teach is all about this one thing: focus. Where is your focus? If you're in fear, your focus is in what might happen. It's in the future, about something you're doing now. And if you're thinking that something might happen that's bad and you're in the now, then you're not in the now. Because you're not concentrating on the things that you need to be focusing on in order to get the result that you want in your life, or the best result you can get. Because you're thinking something bad's going to happen, and that's what makes you feel fearful. Eric was so right. He came to learn all about firewalking. You don't just spend 4 days with you just walking through fires over and over again. Why people like Eric and Tony and T. Harv and Andy get so much from this course that Krish took is because it's not about firewalking. It's not somebody asking at the break about firewalking. It's not about firewalking. Because when you go back to your life and your day-to-day stuff, that's when this training kicks in. Firewalk of 12 feet takes roughly 2.25 seconds to walk. So it can't be about the firewalk. But when you go back to life and you have to face the fear of perhaps starting a new job, or the fear of investing in somebody, or doing something different, or whether you should start a family, or how you should protect your investments, or whether you should move jobs, that's when the firewall kicks in. That's when all the other things that we do as well, other than firewalking, kick in. Because then it gets you to focus not on what you're frightened of, but what you want. And when you start to focus on what you don't want, it corrects you, so you think, no, I know what focusing on what I don't want does. I need to focus on what I want. How can I get this, not what happens if. So that's what people get from this little 4-day course that we train here in the UK. But it is all about focus. And so we're going to play a little video which I'd like you to watch. And all I want you to do is think about your focus. And we'll see how good your focus is. You don't need to speak during this exercise. You'll just follow the commands on screen, and we'll see how well you do. Okay, how many passes did we count?
15.
How many?
15.
14, 15, 16? Anybody less than 14?
9.
13.
Any more than 16? Ah, pretty good bunch. Okay. Oh no. Oh.
Yes.
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 Did you see the gorilla?
Yeah.
What gorilla? Now did you see the gorilla? Did anybody still not see the gorilla? The gorilla was pretty obvious. obvious, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The second time when we suggested there might be a gorilla in there, half of you didn't see the gorilla. But the reason was is because we focused you on the players in white, and because we focused you on the players in white, we missed something that was really pretty obvious. Somebody in a big gorilla suit who wasn't playing basketball, marching through the middle, looking at the camera, doing this, and then sort of waving and walking off, and half of you missed it. But the thing is, in terms of what we teach, it's not about the things that you miss, it's about the things that you're living. It's about the fear that we talked about. Who here has a genuine fear of public speaking, but would like to be better public speaking? A few of you. Okay, I mean a genuine fear. So, put your hand, raise your hands, please. Who, out of you all, thinks you're the most fearful of everybody, no matter what everyone says? Alright, so I'm going to take the last three. So, what's your name, sir? Bish. Bish. Give Bish a round of applause. Bish is going to do some public speaking. Okay, Bish. For this public speaking, all you need to be able to do is know what your name is, know where you were born, and know where you live now. Okay. Do you think you can confidently relate those things?
Yeah.
Yeah? You know what your name is? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You know where you were born?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. And you know where you live now?
Yeah.
All right. You're sure about that? So that's what's one of the things is being able to count to three. I have to be certain that people can count to three. You've convinced me. In this short time, I'm now convinced you can count to three, that you know who you are. So just for the sake of practice for this amazing public speech, what's your name?
Vishesh.
Okay, so I want you to say out loud, that's because this is your public speech. You're going to say, my name is, then you're going to say, I was born in, and then you can say, and I now live in. So tell everybody.
My name is Vishesh Gurung. I was born in Gachia and I live in Hounslow right now.
Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to step away from here, step into this confidence zone. I'm currently occupying this place at the moment. This is the confidence zone. I don't know if you notice this. Whenever anybody stood here, they looked more confident. Yeah, that's because this is a confidence zone. You're going to step into this confidence zone. You're going to do the same thing again, but now you're going to do it with just a lot more confidence. Okay? So, step in and go for it.
My name is Vishesh Gurung. I was born in Gachia and I live in Hounslow right now.
Okay. Now, did he say that pretty confidently? Okay. So, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to say it more confidently, but a little more slowly. Okay? Yeah? And with more movements. Yeah?
My name is Vishesh Gurung. I was
Stop. Now, when I said stop, just before then, how much fear were you in? Were you aware of your fear at all? That moment before?
Yeah, no.
Fear wasn't there. The fear wasn't there. Why wasn't the fear there?
Because I had to
Come on, because you're still in. Okay. Do you want me to move? Okay. So, that's not really. Right, okay. So I'm going to suggest something. The reason why you felt no fear, and the reason why I stopped you, is because he was mid-flow. Wasn't he? Now, did you have a little bit of fear at when you knew I was going to get you to do it again? Like, I'm going to get you to do this again.
Yeah.
A little bit of fear then. As you come to the end, and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to be stood there in front of people and I will have finished, a bit of fear. But in the middle, there was no fear, was there? There was no fear. This is called being in flow. Who here has had a fear about something at some point? You've had a fear, and you've been, should I do it? You might have even put it off a few times. But then once you make the decision to do it, and you step into it, that fear just disappears. True?
Yeah.
The decision, followed by the action, means that the fear diminishes. It doesn't always go away, but it diminishes massively, doesn't it? Because now you're in flow. So this time I want you to do it again. I want you to do it with like as though you're excited about it. Go for it.
My name is Vishesh Gurung. I was born in Gachia and I'm living in Hounslow right now.
Okay. If that was the start of a 20-minute public speech, would anybody say that this man was not confident a speaker? If he said, after that, the way he said it, I'm not a very confident speaker, I'm really frightened of public speaking. Would anybody believe it at all?
No.
No. So all you need to do is talk about things that you're passionate about and that you know the content. And if you're passionate about it and you're passionate about the content, once you're in flow, the nerves are gone. The biggest problem that new speakers have is that they're nervous, and I'm going to talk about nervous and energy. They have so much energy that once they start, you can't stop them. It's like an express train, and all the thoughts that come into their heads have to come out. So then, when they have a 10-minute speech, they go on for 25 minutes, and it's off topic for 15 minutes of it, because they don't realise how much content that they've got. Didn't he do well? Oh, you can speak perfectly well, perfectly confidently. Yeah, just do it one more time, and this time I want you to do it like you were excited about where you were born.
My name is Krish. I was born in Gurung, and I live in Hounslow right now.
Give them a round of applause. You see, when I'm in fear, describe the feelings I'm having. What feelings are you having in your body when you're in fear?
Anxiety.
Yeah, but that's a descriptive term. What is anxiety in your body?
Your heart rate is like
Heart rate is
beating faster.
beating faster. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
My heart rate is beating faster. What else?
Why?
You're gasping, your breathing's changed, yeah? You're a bit more asthmatic, you know, like you've got asthma, yeah? It's like, oh, yeah? So your breathing has changed. Yeah, what else? Sweating?
You feel feeble?
Yeah, that's it. We're putting a term onto it now. What's the feeling in the body?
Your legs are like shaky.
Yeah, legs are shaking. Fantastic. Now, describe to me the last time you were really excited in your body. What was the feeling? What's happening with the heart? It's pumping faster. What's happening with the breathing? Yeah? What's happening with the legs? It's the same feeling, isn't it? In the body. But we take those things that are happening and we say fear. We don't say excitement. We say fear. And as soon as we say fear, we feel bad because now we're in fear. Don't we? How much different would we feel if we said, I'm excited? I'm excited. Normally, when you're in a situation, unless it's, picking up rattlesnakes or spiders or scorpions that can kill you, normally it's in a situation where our lives can be improved, isn't it? It's normally in a situation where we want something, but there's something going on in the background where we think we're not deserving of it, or we shouldn't get it. And we take these feelings that we're getting and we say, I'm in fear. Whereas if you were just accepted that you're in excitement, it would make you feel better. Does that make sense? Stupid, but it makes sense. And we all do it. I would like to show you and demonstrate with you all, if I can, and normally I have a prop for doing this, and I don't have that this evening, but I'd like you to do something with me right now to kind of show that when people talk about feelings, fear is a feeling, yeah? But the feeling, it's not really classical feeling, but it's a feeling of fear. People talk about that like it's a real thing. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to share with you and demonstrate to you how your mind can not only change your physical feelings, but the whole structure of your body. Because who here would agree that if we can change the way that we feel and the way that we approach things in our inner thinking with a more positive state, that we would have a better chance of achieving the things that we want out of life? Wouldn't we?
Yes.
So what I'd like you all to do right now is I'd like you all to hold your hand out like this. And what I want you to do, I'm going to give you a very simple suggestion in about 2 minutes' time. I'm going to ask you all to do something. We're going to all do it together. I'm going to do it, we're all going to do it. Now I normally have a prop, and the prop that I normally have will make complete sense to you in a minute when I share with you what we're going to do. What I want you all to do is I want you to imagine that you're holding a lemon that has been cut in half. A lemon that has been cut in half. A juicy lemon, a fresh lemon. And I want you to remember how that lemon, the last time you held a lemon, how it felt. The dimples that are in it. Was it waxy? Is it unwaxed? Those of you that have restaurants, you'll know all about this. Is it waxed? Is it unwaxed? What's the skin like? There's a certain smell coming from it. Now I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, go. When I say go, I want you all to bite into that lemon. Bite into it like last time you bit into a lemon. Bite into it and remember what a fresh lemon tasted like. And I'm going to do the same. And I want you to play full out and really go for this, because you'll only get out of this what you really put into it. You'll only get out of this what you put into it. So I'm going to go 3, 2, 1, go. And as I say go, I'm going to bite into this juicy lemon. I want you to bite into it and remember juicy lemon. Does everyone understand what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Great. 3, 2, 1, bite. Look at that lemon. Bite into that lemon. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Now. Okay. So, who here has had some kind of salivatory response, even if a slight salivatory response in the mouth? Yeah? Look around. Everybody. Slight salivatory. Who here has had a lot of salivation in the mouth? Yeah? Why? Why? It makes no sense. Your body has just had a physical change. It's just had a biological change. And it's just had a chemical change to your physiology because of what you put in here. Your brain has just sent a message to the physical components of your body to secrete juice into your mouth to combat citric acid before it goes down to your stomach so that it doesn't give you indigestion without there actually being any citric acid. You've just created a physiological change in your body. Who here, once you knew what I was going to do, it started happening straight away? How quickly did it start? Straight away. This is why we have to teach people about firewalking. Because more often than not, people do negative things rather than positive things. When we do something that's stupid, in that day, how long do we spend berating ourselves? 8 hours? 10 hours? We even tell other people, don't we? You know what I did today? It was really stupid. I did this thing. Oh man, you were so stupid. Why did you do that? And we share it with other people. And then we go home and we do something that's really good. And we're lucky if we give ourselves 2 minutes, aren't we? And then if we tell our significant others, they'll go, As human beings, we're not very good at giving ourselves good things, but we're very good things at saying really bad things to ourselves. With firewalking, the lemon is very important. Because if you get halfway across and you say to yourself, oh, I've just burnt this crap out of my feet, your brain is going to go, oh, I better repair that. I better repair and make that better. And it does that by a blister. If you get to the end and you go, wow, that was hot. Yeah, that felt really hot, but I'm okay. The brain goes, oh, okay. So we need to teach people not how to be positive, but how to not be negative. And when I talk about this course, I talk about it does two things. It takes the things that are really good about you, and it accelerates them, and it accentuates them. And it takes all the stupid things that you do to bring your life down, and it gets rid of them. Because the past, the past is there for a purpose. It's there to be in the past. That's why it's called the past. That's why the present is different from the past. So if you've done stupid things in the past, then leave them there. Don't carry them into the future. And is this all making sense?
Yeah.
When Krish said to me about coming to this meeting, he said, would you come to this? It's not a professional thing, but these guys are really, I'd like to help them and building our community. I said, yeah, I'd love to. He said, oh, would you? I said, yeah, that's my mission. That's what I do. It doesn't matter whether there's 5 or 50 or 500. I've spoken at all kinds of events. If there are a group of people that are going to go and help other people, I'm all for that. That's my mission. And the fact is that I have discovered in my life, you see, when people often come to my place, I'm very proud people come and they see my place. But what they don't realise is that my father was a communist, was a British communist, basically. Poor mindset, very, very poor mindset. Didn't like entrepreneurialism, he didn't like people that made money. He thought the way to make money was to work hard. My mum died when I was 1 year of age. I was 13 months old when my mum died, and there were 6 children in the house at the time. I'm from a family of 7. My eldest brother was 19 when mum died, so he was gone, but the other 6 of us were in the house. My dad never really had a job. We lived in a council house. We had a coal fire in a 3-bedroom house. So I knew what poor was. Also, whenever I thought about working hard, I had 3 or 4 jobs at one point, working hard. And he would congratulate me and say, oh, you're working hard, you'll do well. But I have to tell you, I worked hard, and to some degree it did help, but then it didn't. I worked for a company where I worked really hard, but then the way that the company was working, I didn't agree with. It was a little bit immoral, some of the ways they were treating some of the people, some of my colleagues. And I fell out of love with that because I love people. And I couldn't get it anymore. And my sales started getting worse. And I started selling less, but I was working harder. I was seeing more people, and I was selling less, and I was making less money, and less money. So I went from being quite wealthy at 22 to at 25, having lots of debt and credit card bills, and having no job. So I understand what it's like to not have the right mental attitude. Now, as it happens, I love helping people so much in that business. And I realised one thing, and that is, to get is to give. To get is to give. You can have anything in life that you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want. I'd like to say that's my quote, but it's not. It's Zig Ziglar's. But I found it to be true. And I found that I went and worked for the company that sold all the books and tapes and videos on personal development and positive thinking. And so I started reading a few, and they made sense. And I changed my life. And I loved it so much, I sold more. And then I worked with more people, then I helped more people. And finally, I found myself where I was helping so many people that it was helping me. And it was helping me build my finances, and protect my finances, and build my wealth. So now at age 50, I live in a beautiful 8-acre countryside retreat with virtually no mortgage. I don't have any debt. And I'm blessed. And I do it because I help loads of people. And they invite me to things like this, and then more people come on my courses. And I want you to get a sense of what that feels like, because it has everything to do with empowerment. So everybody, I'd like you to stand up. Now I want you to do this with somebody else, so not with the person that you did before. You're going to give another person a hug. But this time, when you give them this hug, this is your focus. I want you to remember a time when you needed a hug. And I want you to look at that person as though they really need a hug. So this is going to take you to step out and to really think about another person. Because I want you to reach out and I want you to hug that person like they really need a hug. And it'll be a hug that lasts for 2 breaths. So it's like this. Now we're not going to get into detail about how specifically you hug. There is a way for that. But needless to say, it's not crutch out and it's not crutch back. Okay, it's crotch neutral. But I want you to give them a hug like they need it. Seriously, because I'm going to ask you a very pertinent question afterwards. Does everyone understand what I'm asking? Find a new person and just take the next minute to give them a 2-breath. To give them a 2-breath hug. Go for Okay. Grab a seat. So, hands up if you just got a really good hug. Funny that, isn't it? Everybody just got a really good hug. How did that happen? How could that have just spontaneously happened? You just all got a really good hug. How did you really get a really good hug? Because we were concentrating on giving somebody else a hug. And we forgot that actually we were getting one in return. And that's what empowerment really is about. It's about the fact, it's not the fact that you don't have fear. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that you do something despite the fear. Despite the fear, trepidation, man-to-man hug, man-to-woman hug. We ran an event a couple of years ago. I had a 30-year serving firefighter on the course. 30 years he'd been in the fire service. They call him Bruiser. When they can't get a door open, they bring in Neil. Yeah? Big bloke, 6'3", built. Came to the hugging exercise. He started off by going purple, and then he went white, and then he started saying, I can't do this. But he can go into a burning house for a cat that might or might not be there, but he couldn't hug another person. And I'm not talking about another man, I'm talking about another girl even. He had that much fear about just letting himself be hugged or to hug a stranger. Halfway through day one, we do other exercises that have proximity, where you're very close to other people. And I said to him, how are you getting on? He said, yeah, I'm all right. I said, oh yeah, why do you think that might be? He said, well, I think it might be because of all these things that we did beforehand. I feel all right about it now. Funny that. You practice empowerment, you become empowered. It's like a muscle. The more you practice going outside of your comfort zone, the wider your comfort zone expands. I've asked a couple of people if they've known Krish for some time. I love it when I come to events where people that have been on my course are there before. Because anybody that's seen them say, oh my God, he's so much different now. Eric O has been on all these guys' courses. And he said to me, I wish I would have just come on this one. This would have got me started. So empowerment is the difference between a dream and a goal. The difference between a dream and a goal is a dream that has legs. It's where it's got you moving. Empowerment is where you're moving. Like you, Bish, when you came up here, yeah, you had something going on beforehand, but as soon as you knew, you could have said, actually, Steve, I'm too frightened, I'm going to sit down. I wouldn't have let you, but you could have said that. But you didn't. And once you committed to it, it's like, oh well, whatever, he's not going to kill me. Yeah? He's not going to kill me. Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I made it really simple, but it was still public speaking, wasn't it? Yeah, I can do that. In the flow, there's no fear. So these are all the things that we teach. And the thing is, the lemon is about your focus. Because as human beings, I'm going to give you a simple exercise. Tell you to do something really simple, and I just want you to follow me. Do you agree? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Don't think of Dumbo the elephant. Who failed? Okay. Those of you that aren't putting your hand up, you probably lie about all the things as well. You see, what you resist persists. If you're thinking about debt, you're not going to get to wealth. You can't. Because thinking about debt doesn't take you to wealth. Wealth takes you to wealth. People say, I just want to pay off my credit cards. No, you don't. You want to become financially abundant. In that process, you pay off your credit cards. What, you're just going to pay off your credit? Do you know what most people do to celebrate paying off their credit cards? 92% of people within 48 hours of paying off their credit cards, provided it's not yet at the weekend, within 48 hours they're going to celebrate by doing what? Spending on their credit cards. If you want financial abundance, you will get out of debt. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But people ask themselves stupid questions, and the brain, it answers constantly. Oh, why did I do that stupid thing? Because you're an idiot, because you keep on doing it, you keep on repeating it. Is that a good question to answer? No. How can I think about the 2 or 3 things that I can do that differently next time? Is a good question. People tend to mull over the things that we do badly, and they recreate them. There's a great part of the brain. It's called the reticular activating section of the brain. Who here, at some point, has been thinking about buying a new car? And you think about buying a new car, and it's in a certain colour that you like, and one of the reasons you like it is because there's not very many of them on the road. Or a suit, or a bike, or anything. But you like it because there's not very many of them on the road. And then as soon as you buy it, you see them everywhere. True? You're 50 miles an hour, 8 deep in a side street. You're not even looking, and it's like, there's another one. It's true, isn't it? And the reason for that is there's a part of the brain that is working hard for you. It's working hard for you. Whatever you tell it to go and find, it will go and find it. But if you give it stupid things to go and look for, it's going to keep on representing those to you. If you keep on thinking, how do I get out of debt? It's just going to go, oh yeah, debt, I know how that works. Yeah, debt. And it will keep on thinking about debt. If you ask it questions like, how do I get financial freedom? It's going to open up opportunities that you will see 8 deep at side streets to increase your wealth. It will open up. Who here at some point has made a decision? It's like, no, I am going to have this. And suddenly, from nowhere, conversations start coming your way, don't they? People start saying, oh, you know, I wish I could find somebody that does this. Oh, do you know, it's not that. I was thinking about that. Yeah, does that happen to anybody? Yes? And that's because this part of the brain, that somebody asked me about, would I share some of the science of what I've learned over these last 25 years? The reticular activating section of the brain is a goal-seeking part of the brain. The problem is that we try and junk into it and we expect it to work well. And it doesn't. It works really well. But garbage in means garbage out. So you need to learn the difference between not thinking negative and thinking positive. Because you can't not think negative. Anybody who's studied hypnosis knows that when you get a resistant client, somebody's like, no one's ever been able to hypnotise me before. You just know, you think straight from the bat, okay, I've got you suckered. Because you say things like, don't worry, there's no need for you to relax. There's no need for you to even worry about hypnosis. There's no need for you, in fact, you don't need to think about hypnosis at all. Hypnosis is probably something that won't come to you slowly or quickly. And the more that you think about hypnosis, the more that you might think about relaxing. But there again, you don't need to relax right now. Because if you say you don't need to relax right now, the brain's going, okay, I don't need to relax right now. And in about a minute's time, the brain goes, can I relax now? Because negativity, psychologically, affects our lives so deeply more than positivity. Because we practice it way too much. Way too much. And if you want to elevate your lives to a better place, you have to start thinking, one, that you deserve it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who think that they deserve a better life. I mean, you only need to watch the X Factor in the early days to realise a lot of people think they deserve to be the winners of the X Factor, when actually they don't. That's true. But if you're reasonably bright, if you're willing to work hard, if you're willing to take feedback and react to it appropriately, you can go to a better place very, very quickly. Somebody said to me the other day, I said, I don't really want to meet with you because what you do is this, this, and this. Now, turn that on his head, what it really means is, I would love to meet with you if you did this, this, and this, but you don't. And he said, you are dead wrong. Like this, you're dead wrong. You are 100% wrong. And I said, fantastic. And he went, huh? I just said, you're dead wrong. And I said, yeah, fantastic. He went, no, I said you were dead wrong. I said, no, that's great. And he thinks we're having an argument now. I said, no, if I am dead wrong, that is really great news for me. Because I thought the exact opposite. But if I'm wrong, it's really great for my business. And he went, oh, okay, does that mean then that we should meet? I said, yeah, we'll meet in the next couple of weeks when we get back from California. And he's like, oh, okay. You see, that's feedback. I was wrong. And I was pleased to be wrong. Because being wrong took me closer to my goal. Does that make sense? More often than not, when we're told that we're wrong, we tend to do this, don't we? Or this. One of the two. But if you can accept feedback with positivity and with empowerment, you can get to your goals. You see, here's the thing. If you're going in the wrong direction, when's the best time to know? Now? Or later?
No.
Yeah? And I'm here to tell you, who here is older than 41? Okay, so everyone else is younger than 41. Who here is within 10 years of 41? So between 31 and 41. Okay. The reason I talk about that is, about 8 weeks ago, I buried a niece. She had died, just before anybody says that's a bit unfair. She was dead. But she was 41. She didn't expect to die at age 41. I have another niece who in 2 days' time is 42. She's got breast cancer. She's got lung cancer. I don't know when you're waiting to feel empowered, but my suggestion is that it's now. It's now. You don't know how long you've got. So why wait? Do it now. Last couple of things I'm going to share with you is about what can happen when, and I'm just going to tell another story first, but some people just know too much. They know that they can't do something or they're not good at it. In the schools in the UK, I did what's called O-levels. O-levels. I wasn't very good at them, to be fair. It took me 3 attempts to get maths. Right? I got it in the end. It took me 3 attempts. Now, my job, every day of the week, I teach CEOs and sales directors basic maths. That's my job. Conversions. How to understand conversions, how to sell more, how to sell a better margin, how to keep customers for longer, what numbers you need to look at. And they're constantly saying, I don't know how that works. Margin, how do we work out margin versus markup? This is what I teach. But at school, Pythagoras made no sense. But economics made perfect sense to me. You see, some things just make sense. In Australia, they have a race. It's called the Ultra Marathon. It's 582 miles. It goes from Melbourne to Sydney, or Sydney to Melbourne. Either way, it's a long way without a bike. It's a marathon every year. About 30 years ago, a man decided he was going to run in that race. He was going to take part, which is fair enough. Anybody here do Ironmans or marathons? Any runners here? No? What a lazy bunch. I'm working on it. Now, so he was with elite athletes. 582 miles is a lot of miles to run, would you agree?
Yes.
Now, he was with elite athletes, but he had a few things going against him. The first one was he was 62 years of age. Would we all agree that that's quite an old age to be running? The other thing that was going against him is he'd never run a race before. So, those are 2 things. The third thing was he actually didn't have any trainers, he only had boots, because he was a farmer. So, things aren't looking that great, are they, so far? Would we agree?
Yes.
Okay. He won that race. He won it by 4 hours. He was so early crossing the finishing line that the press weren't even there yet. 62 years of age, Clifford Young, a potato farmer, won the Australian Ultra Marathon. How did he win it? Well, he won it because he just didn't know how to run the race. He didn't run it to win the race, he ran it because he thought he could finish. And nobody told him, Cliffy, this is what happens. You run, and then you sleep, and you eat. Right? And then you run, and then you sleep, and then you eat. See, nobody told him this, so he just carried on running. He just carried on running for days and days and days. And people would say that they would see him sort of slouch by the side of the road with a half a roll stuck to his face and in his hand, where he'd sort of finally taken to sleeping and eating at the same time. Clifford Young. They now call it the Clifford Shuffle, because the way he ran it, because he was no athlete, he basically just ran. But he could run like that all day, and he did. Because twice a year he rounded up the sheep in Australia. And rounding up sheep in Australia, he just did that all the time. So we don't know what we're capable of. And I'm here to tell you that you are capable of far more than you think that you are. Far more. And if you've seen a change in Krish, I'm telling you that that is available. So if you can have a fear of heights, that's normal. You're built with fear of heights. Loud noises, that's normal. You're built with fear of loud noises. Anything else, including public speaking or clowns, is learned. I'd just like to show you something. We've all heard stories, but I managed to capture this one about 3 years ago. There you go. Alright, you just go on.
Nothing short of a miracle. Little Mario is up and talking with him.
Well, yeah. No, don't worry about it. It's actually, yeah, it's coming right now. Okay.
His family calls it a miracle.
A 3-year-old boy is alive tonight after a car accidentally rolls over his head, but neighbors came to his rescue. After 7 News reporter Elizabeth Kernan has the story you will see only on 7.
Doug and Shelley, nothing short of a miracle. Little Mario is up and talking with only a few scrapes and bruises. His family grateful to a neighbor who lifted the car with his bare hands to save the boy.
The second he saw his 3-year-old neighbor stuck under a car, Michael Archuleta snapped into action.
I stayed up all night with my wife crying, just hoping that, I saved his life. I hope, a little kid deserves to go through that.
The stalled car rolled backwards just as the toddler darted behind the wheel Monday night. The maintenance worker at the mobile home park in Northeast Albuquerque says he still can't believe it.
Tire rolled over his head and he was stuck under. His whole body was stuck sideways, his ribs were under the air.
So Archuleta put his best foot forward.
I just grabbed the car and just lifted it up. The adrenaline was pumping so much and tires came off and at least a good 10 inches off the ground.
Within seconds, someone pulled 3-year-old Mario Munoz away from the car and to safety. He spent the night at the hospital, but on Tuesday, his parents tell us he'll walk away with only a few cuts and bruises, not even a broken bone in his body.
How does that make you feel knowing, you saved a life?
Well, it's not that I'm a hero, it's that, this is my job.
A job this maintenance guy doesn't take lightly.
Now, Archuleta says he only has a bit of back pain from the heavy lift. The family expects to take Mario home tonight. Back to you.
Amazing story. Albuquerque police believe the incident was an accident. No one was troubled.
Wow. And the cars in America are bigger than the cars over here. That was like a 2.25 ton car. But he's got a bit of backache. Yeah, I'd have a little bit of backache if I just lifted that car off. But the thing was, he didn't know that he couldn't do that. Now you could call it God-given, you could call it adrenaline, but he just was so focused, something came together in his physiology that allowed that to happen. Something. When you have your mind and your body and your heart, your spirit all coming together for a purpose, for a vision, for a mission, things happen. Things happen. Phone calls come in. Opportunities come in. And that's what I'm about. If you want to find out more about how to get those things in alignment, because if you have something that's not in there, if you've got something that's fear-based, that's tugging that, it's like an anchor. I describe what I do. Has anybody here done UPW, Tony Robbins course? Anybody here other than Krish? Okay. A few of you? Okay. So what I describe the difference is when you do UPW, it gives you personal power. I used to be Tony's top sales guy in Europe. I sold more per capita than anybody else because I was massively passionate about it. But what I found is that when people came off the course, they had so much personal power. But the problem is that they had anchors in the ground, embedded, that they weren't aware of. So now they were going 3 times as fast as they were before, but they still had these things in the ground. What I found is that if you take those things away, you actually don't need to go on a 3-day rah-rah, get hyped up, do a firewalk kind of gig. If you take away all of the things, the unconscious fears and all the things that we do, that we really just do to ourselves, that gives you a massive head start. Does that make sense? Yeah. Just imagine just leaving the past behind and just taking the gifts that we have and using them. And I promise you, if you can do that, just grab hold of the things that you want. Sometimes for some people it's having a bit more of a time connection. Some of the best things that you can get in life are not going to happen in 6 months. They're going to happen in 6 years. That's just the way it is. You enjoyed the trees at our place. For 5 years I looked at them and I went, grow! Because they were this big. But now they're 7 meters high. You can change the world. You can change the world around you. I'll leave you with a couple of stories, and we'll do something that's a little bit strange just to finish off. Cleve Baxter. Anybody heard of Cleve Baxter? So those of you that mentioned about the science, Cleve Baxter was a polygraph expert. Anybody know what polygraph is? No? Some people looking a bit sheepish. I think some of you do know what a polygraph is. It's a lie detector piece of equipment. What it does is it measures changes in electrical, moisture, and pulse, things in your body, basically. So when you answer a question that you feel nervous about, you change the moisture and electrical components of your hand, if it's connected to your hand. And then that lets people know, you're feeling a bit nervous about that question. You might be lying, you might not be, but then they'll ask you different questions. Cleve Baxter was an expert in polygraph. He'd worked with the CIA, the FBI, KGB, MI5. He'd worked with them all. But one week he was having a problem with a machine, and he went to get some coffee, and he passed in one of the offices these plants that he had. And he thought to himself, I wonder if plants give off electrical signals. So he had a machine right there, he wired it to one of the plants, and to his amazement, he looked at it, and absolutely nothing was happening. Nothing. So he thought, oh well, that was a very brief experiment, I'll go and get my coffee. And then he thought to himself, I know what about if I got the blowtorch and I nuked it? And as he thought that, the polygraph went nuts. The polygraph started fluttering like you wouldn't believe. As he thought, what about if I blowtorch this plant? Now, he got fascinated, I got fascinated, I read the study. Even to the point where they had 3 plants in a room, similar to this, 2 exits, 3 plants, a man came in, there were 2 plants that were wired up to the polygraph, a man came in and basically blowtorched the middle plant, the one that didn't have the polygraph attached. And then they had that man join 19 other men and stand outside, and they walked in one at a time, stood in front of the plants, and then walked out. So there was never more than one person stood in the room at the same time. When the man who had blowtorched the plant walked in, the polygraph went nuts. Thoughts are things, folks. They radiate out into the world. They did another experiment with yogurt. They separated yogurt and they put antibacterial stuff into one which kills the biotic component of the yogurt. They split the yogurt up, put electrodes into half of it, and basically just put distance between them. They got 10 blocks away, and timed when they did it. But the half of the yogurt that had been separated that was attached to the polygraph, when they put the antibiotic into the other half, its brother if you like, the polygraph went nuts. How does yogurt know that it has a brother? This world's connected, folks. I didn't believe it when I was that skeptic 30 years ago, coming from my background. I didn't believe it. A lot of the stuff that we do is actually Eastern philosophy. I wanted to find the science because I'm a skeptic. But after all this time, I'm a believer because all the science proves it. So empowerment is really all about stepping in and stepping into your fear. It's not the absence of fear, it's just having the courage to act despite the fear. And the more that you do that, the less fear that you have. If you walk 130 fireworks with us on the weekend, which you will if you join us, at the end of that you won't have any fear of firewalking. Does that make sense? Let me just repeat that. If you walk 130 fireworks, at the end of it you won't have any fear of firewalking. Or 140 if you decide to do a few more, which many people do. So, just to finally put the sort of lid on tonight's talk, I firmly believe that if you have a fear, or if you have a belief that's holding you back, and fears are driven by beliefs. Somebody talked about humility and being humble. It doesn't serve you. You're all, depending on how you look at it, you're all imperfect. But that's to be human. And so you should celebrate your imperfections. Don't dwell on them, because it doesn't make any difference. I was already empowered when I went and did this course in California, and it shifted me. It shifted Eric Ho. The only difference is that they were willing to step up like Krish and go, do you know what? I'm not perfect, but I'll never get perfect unless I step up and do that. If you want to be a public speaker, but you won't step up and do public speaking, you're never going to be a better public speaker, are you? You need to step forward. And that's what I'm here to say, is that if you want to get something better in your life, just step into it. Take a chance. And when you get that voice inside that talks about what you don't want, just think about what you do want, and just accept that it might not turn out the way that you want it, but that doesn't matter. Because if you carry on doing, eventually it'll come good. Thanks very much for your time. Thank you, Krish. If you've enjoyed... the content, and if you've liked what I've talked about, then please share it with everybody. And if you haven't liked what I've said, then just keep it to yourself. I've got a little bit more information. If you want to find out a little bit more about what we do, you can grab one of these and find out what it does on there. I've asked my technical guy to do a special offer for Krish and for you as a group. We're running, many people say, I love what's happened with Eric or with Krish, but I don't want to become a firewalking instructor. So I don't need that. So what we've done is we've taken all of the stuff that's part of the empowerment piece and put that together in a course. And that course is £997, whereas the facilitation course is £1,500. But there's a special offer for this group. If you sign up before the 30th of November, you get £250 off. So it's an absolute steal. You think that's expensive? I'll just go onto our Firewalking UK page and just see whose company you're going to be in. There'll be people from Australia and Germany and Brazil and Argentina and so on. And so if you want to change your life, yes, you can go and do all these courses as well, but I promise you this one will make a difference. I've brought some books over here written by Tony Burkhan, who created all of this. If you want to know more about that, then ask me about that. And before I sign off, any questions? Ask me anything. Any questions about tonight?
You said about focusing on the positive thing, and then it says stepping forward to the way to success. But how do you tackle things like, for example, you got a comment, which is, if you read it, that comment, it is the negative comment, but for your improvement, you might need to read that. So how do you tackle that?
Well, you have to ask. I was asked, what's the intent of the person that's giving it to me? Are they giving it to me with love or resentment or something negative? See, there's lots of people out there that will say, oh yeah, but you weren't very good. If you're learning to become a public speaker, yeah, but you need to do a bit more practice, I think. Yeah, that's feedback. But the heart that it's coming from is not a good place. But your brother or your mother or your father, they would say it in a different way. They would say things like, well, I think you need to slow down a little bit. You're a little bit fast. Well, that's not a criticism, that's an observation. And if you are speaking too fast, you need to know that, don't you? So when you get that observation, you say thank you, and you feel good about it, unless you don't really want the goal. You see, when people don't really want the goal, and somebody gives them good feedback that's not what they want, they'll resent it. And in their brains, there's a thing called a scotoma, which is part of this psychology, that will say, that didn't happen. They're wrong. And so what it does is the thing that you've done wrong, it says, you're all right, you did that okay, which means repeat it. Does that make sense? Because if we say, you were wrong, I was right, I'm okay, it makes us feel better in the moment, but does it get us closer to our goal? Does it? No. You get closer to your goal by getting good feedback, so you find people who you respect who can give you that good feedback, and you thank them for it. I work with a lot of small businesses, and the number one thing they have to be able to do before I will allow them to work with me is to take feedback. Because one of the things that the first things that we do is we contact all the people who said no, and all the people who left them and went somewhere else. And we go to them and we say, why did you leave Krish? Yeah? And then when Krish hears it, he needs to go, no. He needs to not be saying, no, they're all wrong. They're all wrong. They're all saying he was always late for jobs and unreliable. No, that's not true. Really? If all of his customers are saying that, really? It's feedback. Does that make sense? So you have to be able to take feedback. But if you can do it with an open heart and an open mind, and feel good about it, like when this guy said to me, you're dead wrong, thank you, because that helps me. Or I could have said, all right, stuff you. But the truth is, I want him, and I want his services, but I had a wrong perception. So I had to. Thank you. Is there one over here? No?
So, how long is the course for?
We have two. So the two courses. One is the training trainer course, which is 4 days. I say 4 days. It's really 7 because they're very long days. But propulsion is just 3 days. So it's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you go through all of the empowerment stuff. And there's a manual that takes you through the whole process. So anything you've got holding you back, you won't have holding you back after those 3 days. I promise you. So 4 days or 3 days. If you want to become a speaker, or if you want to help Krish, or want to work together training people, do what I do here, then that's the 4-day one for you. So we train you to how to build firewalks and how to facilitate firewalks and glass walks and how to show people how to break concrete blocks and all that kind of crazy stuff. Yeah, sounds like it.
So there's 2 courses. 2 courses.
Yeah, there is now, yeah. There's a 3-day and 4-day. But the 4 days where you learn to teach other people, so you take through the facilitation. The 3-day, you just do the exercises. Anything else? Was there one over here? No?
What's your fear?
What's my fear? My fear? What's my fear? My fear is not being as good as I can be. That wasn't my fear. For a long time it was just to muddle through and to be good. But my fear now, after working with my mentor, Tolly, is just I have to be the best that I can be. So like this year, I shared this with you before, I've been speaking for 36 years, but this year I'm improving my speaking. I've got a good speaker coach, but I want to improve my speaking. So I'm videoing myself speaking, so that when I get home I can cry over all the mistakes I've made. And then spend the whole day repairing myself by giving me a pat on the back and saying, no, I've improved in these areas. So, not being as good as I can be. Anything else? No. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it. Hopefully I'll get to meet you again sometime.
everyone enjoyed Steve's talk here? So please feel free to ask Steve while he's here, or if you have any questions later on, just pass it to me. So this is what it's Gurkapreneur is about. I've got mentors, trainers, and people like Steve. I've got friends in property investment world. I've got a mentor who is a futurist, Rosa James Hamilton. He's mentoring me as well. So you can have access. So you can leverage me. So you can ask the question. So if I can't answer you, so I can pass it to people like Steve. So then I can ask Steve, can you please help my community? So these are the questions. So please, please, please. Two things you can do is help someone else or ask for the help. So that way we can help each other. Is that okay, yeah? Okay, thank you for wonderful evening. And so who here wants more? Or tired for today? Tired for today? 10 o'clock, yeah? Okay. One more? No. Okay, so as I told you, next month, we are doing every month. If you want to be part of Gurkapreneur, please join us rather than paying every month. You can join in our community, which is just £100. It's for a year, so we can. So what my intention is, once I have enough members paying £100, so we can move into the better place, like a village hotel or a village hotel. So as soon as we go there, we can feel better. It's a positive environment, because the environment is very important. So that's my vision for Gurkapreneur. So please feel free, and let's work together, and let's keep pushing each other to move out of that comfort zone and grow together. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for being being very kind and accepting my invitation. And thank you everyone for being. Thank you so much. And have a wonderful night and have a wonderful time. Stay blessed. Be awesome. Okay. Thank you. Before we move, can we take picture group? Yeah, with Steve. Is that okay? Yeah, come. Is your camera ready? Let's take the picture with the future multi-millionaires. There is someone here. Suraj, come
Now, most people are taller than me. but now I'm feeling tall again. I don't know.
See, multiple
World record? Am I in the Guinness Book of World Records?
Yeah.
No, we do have a fire walker in the Guinness Book of World Records. He's called Scott. The difference between him and me is that he broke his feet and had to go to hospital. And I walked 900 times in the morning.
How long way? Oh yeah, we have a media from Nepal as well. Nepalese media, Everest Times.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. So you guys are far too wealthy. You want an iPhone 7. When I teach you how to get real wealth, you'll learn an iPhone 5 is good enough. I've only just got rid of my BlackBerry. But just remember, it's only worth anything if you use it. You know, that's what I say. It's not people buy cars, people buy suits, people buy maps, people buy phones. The most important thing to where your dreams are is if you invest in yourself. You can never take it away, never become overvalued. When you invest in yourself, an iPhone will do, a car will make you appreciate. Investing in yourself is the best investment. If you can do both, then I would say if you can do both, be disciplined. If you do mine first and then go to your own, this is the you're fired. 3D, 4D, actually, there's the video that's part of it. It's like 7 days. Chirac, South Africa, whenever these people have done all of these courses, you should just connect with them on Facebook. What do you think? New people will you? Steve Steve. I know. But connect with these people. Krish is my advocate, Jermaine is my advocate, Eric is my I think we need to compromise This one's £10. Oh, you did. 40 November, discount price. Comfortable.
It's not only about
I find these things on the way through the I love what I do, I'm passionate, massive, Thanks for joining me.